I just embrace it. It hasn't shown itself yet, right? But it's been poking its head around a little bit. And I've got 3 days left here. I do want to mention, I am so grateful for all of you, you viewers out there. I've got 3 questions to answer, and each question is just so different. It's from Angela Braggs. I've answered you before. Question, Lee. Taking out the front seat passage aid, do it make a huge difference? Well, does taking out my passenger seat, the front, does it make a huge difference? OMG. Huge difference. Huge difference. Let me turn it around and let's take a look. Okay, so if you look, the driver's seat's right here. So if you just go across, the passenger seat would be right here, right? So look at all this space from here to here is free space for me. Now, I've seen some van dwellers, minivan dwellers, SUVs, that they pile things on top of their seat. And they like to have their passenger seat so that if they want to have a passenger with them, they want to take a friend or a family member. So, there's that. You need to consider that. But from here all the way to here, because if you look, I mean, I've got my little teeny weeny little cooler down here. I've got my Jackery here. I've got a bin that I keep my garbage and my water in. And then I've got this big bin. Let's get some light on this. So then I've got this bin here. And what this does, it's falling apart. I'm going to get a new one. But this bin has like food and things like that in it. Yeah. It makes a huge difference. Next question. This is a really good one. I've answered this before, but it's been a long time since I've talked about this. This is from Diane Johnson. When you order from Amazon, how is it mailed to you to pick up when you live in a vehicle? Very good question. Well, Amazon owns Whole Foods. If you're in a city and there's a Whole Foods near you, yes, you can have it sent there and then you can pick it up. And they have a time limit though. So they're going to be open maybe, I think the one in Tucson is from 10 until a certain time, 10 in the morning. But here in Flagstaff, it's from 9. And that can make a difference, because if you're going to be traveling and you want to pick up a package and you're going to leave early in the morning, but you got to sit around and wait until like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning to pick it up, that can be an issue. So there's other ways that you can do it. Another way you can do it is have it sent to a UPS store, but that's going to cost you. Usually it's they may have increased. Usually it's $5 for a smaller package and $10 for something larger. Okay? Alrighty. Now, I want to walk you through, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to do it myself. Okay? I have the Amazon app. I always use that. I'm a big Amazon girl. I've worked there. I have an Amazon store. I'll leave the link for that. It's always in description. I have an Amazon influencer store. These are products that I recommend and I use, and I do have items in there for like gifts that I would maybe send to somebody, and I thought they were pretty cool. So the link in that, I'll leave it in comments, but it's always in my description. Okay. So what I do is open this up, but if you want to do it online, just go Amazon.com, and then what you do, I think at the very top, you click on your picture or the little person, that little icon, right? And then you can go from there. So, but if you have the app, there's 3 little lines on mine, and it's down below. I click on that, and then you need to click on your account. says account. Now scroll down a little bit and it'll say your addresses. Okay. Your addresses. At the very top, it will say add a new pickup location. But above that, it says add a new address. Now that might be you're going to send something to your son or your grandmother or something like that. Or you're moving to a new location. Like I have my children's addresses on there because I'll send them a package for Christmas or whatever. But I also, now I'm using my daughter in Tucson, and I've actually sent a couple things because I'm going to be there in about 4 or 5 days. So you can actually do it. What I do is put my name up there, Minivan Lee, and then I put in care of, and I put her name and then the address. That way my daughter knows that's not her package, it's my package, okay? So then what you do, then I want to talk about add a new pickup location. Okay, so you click on that. Now what you want to do is at the top it'll say address, zip code, landmark, something like that. So type in an address or a zip code, something, and it will show you pickup locations. There's a thing called Amazon lockers, and they're just so cool. Sometimes they're inside of a building, sometimes they're on the outside where you walk in. They're usually orange and it says Amazon on it, Amazon locker. And each locker has a name. It's a weird name. Some of these are weird. This one says, the one in Tucson says it's called Sketch. Sketch, that's the name of the locker. But it is at a Circle K. And sometimes, grocery stores have them. So what you need to do, this is your best bet. Well, this is what you have to do. Type in the zip code. Even, let's just say, okay, let's do a scenario if you live in the sticks and bricks, right? You know why I would need to use it, because I'm traveling, right? But you can still live in this bricks and sticks. Let's say you want to order something, but you don't want anybody to know. Okay, you want to keep it secret. Well, send it to a locker, okay, and then go pick it up there. Or let's say you want to use a pickup, or maybe even the UPS store if they do that. Maybe it's something that it's big and you're afraid that somebody's going to steal it off your front porch, right? Okay, so you could do it that way, and then you just go pick it up. Lockers, you have to pick it up within 3 days. But when you do it on Whole Foods, I think they give you like 10. Maybe even 15 days, right? UPS, you probably want to get there soon, or they'll send it back. They have to deal with a lot of packages. So there you go. And so what you do is you look to see, well, what's available? What kind of locker. But it's pretty cool. What you do is they give you a scan, a code to scan, and you go in there, or they give you a number, because the scanners I found, sometimes they don't always work, but you want to go ahead and have the number, and then there's a thing, you just put it in, and the door, wherever they put it, the door go, it's really weird, it makes that sound like, and then the door, it creaks, and it opens up, and you pull it out, and you shut it, and then it'll give you notice that you picked up the package. So there you go, there's your answer, okay? There you go. Now here's a good question from Frog Moon Mama, and this is up my alley because, I love to talk about things like that. I love to instruct things like the Amazon lockers and stuff like that, yeah, and how I pulled out my seats, and I love all your questions. I love answering your questions. And by the way, I made some peppermint tea. I'm going to share it with you, okay? Cheers. I love me peppermint tea now. Woo. Okay, so she says, a different subject, but I've been watching you for years. Thank you. I know I recognize you. I have a question. What do you do when you are having a day you just feel blah and depressed? Not overly depressed, just down. How do you pull yourself out of it? Any tips? Yeah, I'll give you, I was going to mention, I'm not a depressed person. I'm not a depressed type person, and I think a lot of you know that. You can kind of tell I'm more of an upbeat vibration kind of gal. But I have been sad, and you know that I did, oh, I got a hair hanging. I did have a bad year last year, and I was grieving. I wasn't really depressed. I was sad, and I was just, I was grieving, yeah. So I was mourning. Yeah, but I'm not, there's just a hair. There it is. Gotcha. I'll clean this up later. Okay, so anyways, no, I'm not really a depressed type person. Is there another one? Yeah. That's one of the things with long hair. I love having long hair, but there's hair. There's hair on my floor. I haven't cleaned it up yet. I clean it up every day. Okay, depressed. Okay, so here's what happens if I have a bad day, and I'll tell you why I usually have a bad day. Because I didn't get enough sleep. That's usually what happens. If I have a bad day, it's because I didn't sleep well that night. And I'm off. But I'm old enough now, and age makes a big difference too. I'm old enough now that I know what's going on. I can tell what's going on, and I'm very in tune with it. And sometimes it can just be a full moon. Full moons sometimes make me go crazy, and it does affect my sleep. So when I'm having a blah day, and they've been there, well, last year, oh my gosh. But if I'm having a blah day just now, normal, I accept it. I accept it's not going to be this a kind of a day that I'm going to accomplish much. And I just sort of like embrace it. I just embrace it. I said, this is not going to be one of my productive days. I might not film. I probably wouldn't film. And a lot of times I just watch movies or read. And I take naps. Now, in the past, one way that I may have done it, one way I may have done it was overeating. Yeah, because it was a comfort thing. I wanted to comfort myself. Well, I don't do that anymore. I have no desire to do that because that's going to make me feel worse if I'm eating usually the wrong kind of foods. Okay? So food, a lot of times what I do, I just keep making tea. That way I've got something. If I want to put something in my mouth, I've got the tea. Yeah. And you don't want to drink too much coffee because that's going to, yeah. There's a lot of ways that you can take care of it. For some people, they might want to just get out in nature and go sit at the park. That wouldn't be my deal. I wouldn't do that because I'd be around people. I want to be alone. If I lived in a bricks and sticks and I didn't sleep well that night, I would stay in my house. I just want to be alone. I don't want to be around people. Yeah. So that's how I kind of deal with it. I mean, that's exactly how I deal with it. And I might take a nap. I will just sit here and be on my phone. I will read. I'll just chill out and know that, and here's the thing. Here's where it comes in successfully, is I'm old enough to know that I'm not really a depressed person. I'm not really that type. But I know in my heart that tomorrow's going to be a better day. I actually usually say that. Well, today, I'm just going to throw in the towel a little bit, but tomorrow's going to be a really good day. And a lot of times what happens is, I've noticed in life that we kind of go, we can go like this and be on an even keel. The hormones are very, very balanced, copacetic. Everything's working out. But if I go down one day, what happens is there's a bounce. And then I kind of will do that, bounce, bounce, bounce until it gets even again. Yeah, so, and it depends on the bounce. you go down. I remember when I was in grieving this past year, I would go down and then I go way up. Whoa, it was almost like bipolar. Wow, and then I go down and I think, oh, everything, I'm over it. And then I go bam, and I'd be like, cry. It was, yeah, but now I'm on an even keel. And I think it does matter the age. I really do. I mean, I don't have that monthly hormonal jumping around anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty much on an even keel. But what happens is sleep usually does it. Now, here's another thing that can do it, would be food, eating. Yeah, and another thing too is when you don't feel well, or if you're coming down with something, maybe you don't know it yet, and you're coming down with something, and then all of a sudden it like rears its ugly head, right? About 2-3 days later, yeah, what's happening is the virus is in you, and it's there. It hasn't shown itself yet, right? But it's been poking its head around a little bit, and you don't know why you feel down, and then all of a sudden you wake up one morning going, whoa, you feel dizzy, you feel hot. Yeah, you feel a little hot, But yeah, so sometimes you do have to really pay attention to your body. And you have to listen to your body. And yeah, so I really appreciate that question. That was a good one. I really do like it. As far as being depressed, I've not really ever been a depressed type person. I do remember a period when I was a teenager, a young teenager, maybe around 14, 15, that yeah, I did get depressed, but I had things going on in the house and treated well. And then all of a sudden I've got these 2 nieces being born, twins. And yeah, things were taken out on me out of frustration from my family, and I don't know why. I guess I was the one who you could the whack-a-mole, I guess. But yeah, no, I spent about a year being pretty depressed, but I climbed out of it, and I actually am better for it. I think that when these things happen, I think they make you stronger, because my faith is with God, and I do believe that sometimes these things come in our life to teach us lessons, and it gives us compassion for other people. It really does. Although I do have a psychology degree, I'm not an advocate for antidepressants, because I do believe that medications, they have so many side effects. I'm not going to say, don't take antidepressants, but for me, no. And from what I've seen, a lot of people are on antidepressants these days. In fact, I've heard it's crazy how many people are literally every day taking antidepressants. But I do believe in some respects, the side effects are too desperate. And some of them can lead to feelings of wanting to do suicide yourself. So yeah, I'm not an advocate on medications whatsoever. I think most of you who know me or have been watching me for a long time know that I'm pretty much anti-medication. Yeah, because it messes with our body, and what they're putting in those medications are just the risk is too great, So. And I'm not on any medications, no. Never have been. I take ibuprofen, and I take vitamins, and supplements, and I think that's about it. Well, I think this is about it for today. I really appreciate you spending time with me. And I do want to mention, I am so grateful for all of you, you viewers out there. You kind of know the situation here somewhat. It's been more of an inside kind of summer for me, unless I've been out camping. I'm not really happy with being where I'm at. I could have moved, but I believe that God had me kind of isolated, finishing up my yearly, because I gave myself a year to grieve and a year to get over, and a love loss. And so God kind of had me secluded. He kind of had me isolated, and it really worked. It really helped. I didn't really want to be around other people. I wanted to be around you, but I didn't want to be around people on a face-to-face basis. So I feel like the healing really increased on that. And especially right now, I've got 3 days left here. Yeah. And I'm going to go south because it is going to warm up. I mean, it is going to cool down. Whew. And it's going to warm up here, but it's going to cool down in the south. And I'm so happy about that. So I think one more episode I will have here. And then my world will open up. There's so much more to do going south. Yeah, friends and family. Yeah, you'll see a big difference in me. So I am very grateful for you being with me all this time for this summer, these past 6 months, almost 7. I love you guys. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, and I love your questions. Give me some questions. Okay, bye. I love you.